A quick chess tutorial by Mike Rossi. Pawns. These are pawns. There are 8 of these on each side. Pawns can only move forward 1 space at a time, unless it's the pawn's first move, in which case it can move 2 spaces. A pawn can only kill by going diagonally 1 space. If a pawn is directly in front of a piece, it's stuck there and can't move. The back row. The back row consists of 2 rooks which go in the corners. They look like castles. Next to the rooks, you have a knight. A knight looks like a horse. And next to the knights, we have the bishops. They kind of look like a dead fish. Bishops have indents in them. In between the bishops, we have the king and the queen. The king has a cross on his head, and the queen wears a crown. The queen always goes on her color. White queen goes on the white space. Black queen goes on the black space. The king is the most important piece in the game. If you lose your king, the game's over. You lost. The king can only move 1 space at one time in any direction. Forward, backward, left, right, horizontal, diagonal, anything. The queen is the most powerful piece. The queen can move any number of spaces in any direction. If a queen kills a piece, though, it has to stop moving and stay on that space until next turn. Bishops. A bishop can move any number of spaces diagonally. They can move forward and backward diagonally, and they can only kill a piece diagonally. And like the queen, once they kill a piece, they have to stay in that spot. Knights. The knight is a very special piece. It can hop over other pieces. The knight has to make an L shape. It can either go up 2 spaces and over 1, or up 1 and over 2. It always has to make an L shape using that consists of 3 spaces. The knight is personally my favorite piece. Illegal moves. There are certain things in a chess game that you can't do, and it's important to understand why you can't do them. One of the things you can't do is to put your king in danger or check. For example, if your queen is in front of your king, and the opponent puts their queen in front of your queen, and you move your queen, that's illegal because then their queen is directly in front of your king. You can't put yourself in check, because if you put yourself in check, you're going to lose next turn. Also, you can't move your king into danger, so you can't move your king directly in front of the person's queen. The next illegal move is something called en passant. It's French for in passing. And this move is illegal because it's kind of like cheating. En passant is when you move a pawn 2 spaces just to avoid not dying by another pawn. If you do this and your player is and your opponent is a chess player, they'll call en passant, and the effect is the pawn that tried to escape is taken off the board, and the pawn that went to avoid killing it goes where it would have been had it killed that pawn. Castling. This is one of the only special moves in chess. It's called castling. Castling moves both the king and the rook at the same time. There are some conditions, though. Okay, in order to castle, first thing you do is make sure there's no pieces in the way, and make sure that the king and the rook haven't moved at all throughout the game. If both of those conditions are met, then you can castle. Castling, you take the king and move it 2 spaces over, and then you put the rook on the other side. You can also castle, that's called castling king side. Castling queen side is the same thing, only it looks a little different. But the same rules apply. You move the king over 2, and then you put the rook on the other side. And that's a quick tutorial of chess. And one more thing. If you corner your opponent's king, say checkmate. And that's all you need to know on how to play chess.